Well, we had quotas that we set, and they were anywhere from 25,000, depending on whether we met them during the period, all the way up to 40,000. I think our highest membership was in 2002 when we had 37,316 active members in the association. Well, of course, you have the traditional ones, homecoming, you had class reunions. Those are more traditional type deal. And then we had several others. We had the senior salute, which was a tribute to all the graduating seniors. Again, trying to make them aware of the Alumni Association and become active after they leave the university. We had an Alumni Fellows program, which I was particularly proud of, because we started this during Steve's tenure, and I more or less happened to put that together. It was a program we borrowed from Kansas State University. Then we had the chapter programs, and of course, when I came to work at Mississippi State in '69, this was the thing that I came for, field secretary, working with the chapters, and so this was to me, one of the big programs that the association has, and to me, it's where you really outreach and get people involved. I know we had, when I came, almost 100 chapters, and in Mississippi, according to the Constitution bylaws, there was a chapter in each county in Mississippi, but because of a lot of small counties, we consolidated a bunch of those chapters. Another activity was the class ring ceremony. We initiated that during my tenure, and where we actually presented the class rings to those seniors that wanted to come over here, and we made a presentation to them. Whenever I came here in '69 with Charlie Weatherly, we had almost 100 alumni chapters. Probably had 78 Mississippi chapters and about probably 20 out-of-state chapters. And as the years went on, particularly the Mississippi chapters, we began to consolidate, because it was very difficult to try to work with a chapter that, there were not a big concentration of alumni in that chapter. So we started consolidating chapters. We'd have 2 or 3 chapters come together and give them a proper name and so forth. And so I think whenever I retired, we had 67 Mississippi chapters and 20 out-of-state chapters. I think first of all, I might look at staff. I know whenever I came, it was Charlie and myself, and we had a secretary that we shared, and then we had, of course, we owned a due system back then, and we did our membership cards. We had these cards. We had what we called a key punch operator, who keyed information into this card, punched holes in it. Then we had a verifier who verified what the key punch did, and then we'd take all those cards, put them in big trays, take them over to Island Hall, and they would run membership cards for us. And then later on, we went to our own computer that generated our own cards, and so that was, one big change. And of course, the staff, grew. We became more specialized in programs, and so I know I had an assistant that worked with me in the chapter programs, and then we added a so-called bookkeeper or accountant to help Charlie with the finances and so forth. And then, of course, the funding of the Alumni Association. As I mentioned, we were on a due system back in '69 whenever I came. And then in 1981, I believe it was, we started what we call the annual fund. One of the things that Dr. William Giles, who retired as president around 1979 or so, had wanted us to look at going to an annual giving type program, rather than having a set amount for dues, which at that time I think was $25. Let's go to an annual giving or annual fund, and people just gave whatever they wanted to give. So we finally adopted that. We did away with the so-called dues, went to an annual giving program, which was unrestricted money. And then a few years after that, we sort of took it a little step further and started raising monies for the different colleges on campus, College of Business, Education, so forth and so on. So it was a constituency type business fundraising, and I think that's what they still do now, but I know that was a real big change also that I've seen. Then of course electronic communication, has taken over so much now. You got your own websites that you're able to do a lot of things with. You got email that you're really able to disseminate information a lot quicker to the alumni and friends of the university. So technology, we had started having fax machines where we could fax things, so and then our own computers. So the electronic age really was a big step for the Alumni Association, and particularly being able to communicate so quickly with our alumni and keep them abreast of really what was actually happening at that time. One thing I do regret in my 36 years with the Alumni Association is that we talk about the history of the association. I wish I had been smart enough to have kept some kind of a diary of all the strange events that might have occurred, particularly in our travels all over the state of Mississippi and the country. Just different things that would happen that you don't normally go out and talk about. The funny type things, really. I wish I'd been smart enough to write a lot of these things down that you could tell stories about about yourself and others and so forth. I know a couple of us used to go to a meeting in Yazoo City, and we'd go through the small town of Benton, Mississippi, on back roads. And of course, when we got through the meeting, it was dark, and invariably we'd miss the cutoff. And we must have done that. One particular guy, Dr. David Bowe, about 4 straight meetings we missed the cutoff. Coming back and get lost for 15 to 20 minutes, but things like that. We made a wrong turn in Vicksburg, and next thing we know, we're going across the bridge over into Louisiana with hardly any gas in the tank. So, things like that. I wish I had, written a lot of those things down over my 36 years. Personally, I think the Alumni Association is just important, period. I don't care what year it is. I know Jimmy and his staff continue to do a good job, and to me, when I look at the mission statement of the Alumni Association, which is basically to generate support for this university through the development and implementation of programs, activities, and events for its alumni and friends, to me, that has far-reaching value for this university, not only just the Alumni Association, but the university itself, the faculty and staff, because the association does so many things that's going to affect this whole university. Student recruitment. We always have programs where our alumni chapters will get involved in student recruitment. Scholarships. So many of the chapters have scholarship programs. Governmental affairs, getting involved in Washington and particularly in Jackson with the state legislature and trying to help the legislature see the needs of this great university.